in ordinance 2014-24. Now you can.
Good morning, Supervisors, Chairwoman Bronson, staff, Administrator Huckleberry. Excuse me, my name is George Yost. I live in Vail. I'm here in support of Administrator Huckleberry's proposal, his memorandum to combine the Mountain View benefit area and the Rincon Valley benefit area into one benefit area called the Southeast Benefit Area. It's my understanding that this will entail no additional cost, but it will provide extra efficiency in the county to move funds around to greater serve the traffic needs of the two areas to combine. So let me introduce the group that I'm with. We call ourselves the Greater Vail Civic League. We are a new group. In January of 2014, we formed a group. We only have about a dozen members so far, but we're getting additional members and we're expanding our operations. We are going to incorporate as a nonprofit with the IRS. We are looking into that. We'll set up a website and that kind of thing. But what we are is a group of concerned citizens that are composed entirely of residents of Vail or those people who own or operate a business located in Vail. So we are exclusively confined to those people who have skin in the game. From the very beginning, we understood that if it was to be successful, our group needed to focus its efforts on improving the Greater Vail area by identifying issues, improvements, and projects that impact Vail residents and Vail businesses alike. Therefore, as I say, we're comprising exclusively of the Greater Vail area residents and businesses that have a vested interest in the community. So on behalf of this group, of this new group, which is still getting organized, as I say, we are requesting your support for agenda item 22, ordinance number 2014-24, relating to capital improvements funding within development fee benefit areas. The rapid growth over the last decade and the changing demographics in the Rincon Valley, Vail area have put a strain on the transportation system with increased congestion and safety concerns. The combining of these two benefit areas into a single benefit area represents another important step forward to provide the county with the flexibility that it needs to meet the growing safety needs of school access, businesses, and residents in the southeast portion of the county, including Colossal Cave Road. We recognize that road maintenance and repairs are a national, state, and local issue, and accessing adequate funds is a challenge. We greatly appreciate the efforts of the Board of Supervisors to obtain the requisite funding to address the congestion and safe travel concerns along Colossal Cave Road. Thank you.
Thank you. Jamie Argueta.
My name is Jamie Argueta. I'm a property owner in the Corona to Tucson area, have family that lives in Corona, and I am the president of an HOA with over 500 homes in Corona. I have been a part of the area for over 18 years. I am not here to speak to keep the county from solving the urgent problem of finding $3.6 million to construct the improvements for Colossal Cave Road. Let me repeat, I am not here to speak to keep the county from solving the urgent problem of finding $3.6 million, but to submit an alternative that does two important things. One, solves the existing problem, and two, allows for the intent of the county's original assessment for the need of a Mountain View benefit area to remain, a specific delineated area which has saved over $9.3 million over 11 years. The proposed merger of the Rincon Valley and Mountain View benefit areas will allow for the county to use those saved Mountain View funds and those future collected fees for Vail area road projects. I appreciate the county proposing to improve Houghton Road south of Sahuarita in the administrator's memo using the balance of funds. But that is not the entire issue. Corona will total over 6,000 homes in the future and be contributing at a minimum nearly $18 million additional in impact fees. Fees that would provide hope that Houghton Road could someday be all-weather to I-10. But with a merger, Corona's future fees may never contribute to the solution of problems, sure to worsen as Corona continues to grow, since the new benefit area now has a list of projects that may be deemed a higher priority than Houghton Road south of I-10, a few of which are depicted on the handout. Why not look at a more fair solution? By redrawing the southern boundary of the Rincon Valley benefit area to include a portion of the Mountain View area, the county can shift the needed $3.6 million into Rincon Valley to correct the Colossal Cave Road issue. This would leave the rest of the Mountain View benefit area unmerged and allow for its existing and future impact fees to be utilized where Corona's new development is impacting the roadways most, which is largely Houghton Road to I-10. Today's merger puts the improvement of Houghton Road to I-10 in jeopardy for years, if not decades. This is a safety issue that should not be dismissed or ignored. It affects an area that has grown over 500% over the last 10 years. One final thought. If the county had already spent most of the fees collected in the Mountain View benefit area for Houghton Road, as some may argue should have happened, and had left a minimal amount of the fees in the benefit area account, would this merger even be a consideration today? And if the merger would not be an option, where else would the county look for funds to solve this problem? If assumedly nowhere else, then it seems the county should look to deal with these circumstances in a much fairer manner with those residents affected whose homes paid impact fees and new homes will pay impact fees. I urge you to consider the fair solution to this problem. Thank you.
Thank you.
Questions, if any?
Okay, Natalie Luna.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Board of Supervisors, Mr. Huckleberry. My name is Natalie Luna. I am the District Communications Specialist of the Vail School District. Appreciate you your time this morning. I just wanted to, we came here a couple months ago about the Colossal Cave Road project, and I just wanted to thank the board for the support of this really needed funding for Colossal Cave Road that we have two schools on, Acacia Elementary and Old Vail Middle School. I invite you all to come out in the morning to come see, and in the afternoon to come see the traffic that we have. And really, it comes down to a basic student safety issue. We have a lot of kids that are walking to school, there's backup, and we just really want to thank you for your support and hope to continue to see that and see this project to fruition. So, thank you.
Thank you. I have no more speakers. What's the pleasure of the board?
Madam Chair.
Supervisor Carroll.
Madam Chair, under transportation number 22, the fee schedule, I'd like to close the public hearing and move to approve ordinance number 2014-24 relating to capital improvement funding with development fee benefit areas, adopting a new southeast benefit area, establishing roadway projects within the new benefit area.
There's a motion and a second. Discussion.
Madam Chair.
Supervisor Carroll first and then Supervisor Miller.
Madam Chair, I make this motion today because we have what is a very important problem that is attempting to be solved. We have a chance here because there's a mutual benefit. At the campus of both the high schools, or both the schools mentioned by Natalie Luna Rose, we have UCHC, the Continental Clinic. Further on up Colossal Cave Road from I-10 towards Marianne Cleveland, you make a direct left and you go to Empire or Cienega Road, Cienega High School or Empire High School on Marianne Cleveland Road. These adjoining facilities serve Corona de Tucson. We have the very same school superintendent in both these existing benefit areas today. Of course, we have the same supervisor that represents both the areas today. But I do want you to know that the Board of Supervisors is needing this flexibility at this time to continue to benefit from the economies of scale on the Colossal Cave repairs, and also to provide better flexibility in the future for these leaders to make better decisions pertaining to the all-weather and other road conditions that reflect in the Vail and Corona de Tucson areas. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Supervisor Carroll. Supervisor Miller.
Madam Chair, I just wanted to speak about my objections to this item. First of all, it adopts a new development fee benefit area by combining the two benefit areas. And I would like to quote from a 2005 memo from Mr. Huckleberry that there should be a very official review by the county attorney's office to deem that there should be more than just a technical issue and would require further legal analysis on disbanding or combining benefit areas and the subsequent distribution of fees collected therein. Due to statutory uncertainty, staff concludes that further legal analysis is required before any action is taken to modify benefit area boundaries. And another quote is, the staff concluded that further legal analysis is required before any action is taken to modify the benefit area boundaries originally adopted by ordinance in 1996. We also have these individuals from the Mountain View benefit area who will lose out on their monies that they paid, which is approximately somewhere in the neighborhood of $5,000 to $5,200 per home. My understanding is that the Colossal Cave Road is about 13 miles away. The schools are not the schools that the individuals in Mountain View send their children to. And the question is my understanding that those who live in the majority of the Mountain View area are not driving on the Colossal Cave Road. They live in Corona. And then regarding the Mountain View benefit area, my understanding is that area growing faster or slower than the Rincon benefit area. Residents in the Mountain View area, where it looks like the bulk of impact fees came from, aren't driving Colossal Cave roads. So how does that provide them with a direct benefit with Colossal Cave being repaired? By combining the benefit areas, we are setting a precedent, and quite frankly, this is a very slippery slope. Residents of the Mountain View area mainly live in a consolidated section of that area, yet combining these two areas could take their funds and distribute them over 30 miles away from the place where they live. How will we ensure that the property owners who paid those impact fees receive any future benefit from the capital improvements when their monies could be spent in other locations far off from where it was intended? The people of the Mountain View benefit area paid impact fees, and they should have capital improvements done directly in their area on the roads they travel regularly, not roads they do not travel on, often travel on that are 10 miles away from the main bulk of the property owners, and that is on the map, clearly delineated on the maps of the area. And we also have a memo from the Southern Arizona Home Builders Association objecting to this as well. And these are comments that I'd like to make, and I believe everyone has a copy of this letter from the Southern Arizona Home Builders Association. I'm surprised they're not here to speak today to object to this item, and that concludes my remarks on this item. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Miller. Mr. Huckleberry, do you have any comments?
Madam Chair and members of the board, I've recommended this item, and obviously I think what we said in 2005 is probably appropriate in 2014, but I believe it has been reviewed, and we've looked at these things previously. We've amended benefit areas in 2009. There are changing geographic and demographic issues with growth in the community. And I think if you look at the Colossal Cave Vale area, it grew very rapidly over the last probably 10 to 15 years and outstripped by a fairly significant amount the growth in the Mountain View benefit area. And so it all depends upon where you have your most critical need and as to how in fact you use the impact fees. The impact fees are for capacity improvements primarily. We've had some suggestions, I think, by the Mountain View developers to use it for drainage improvements. And kind of is an equally slippery slope with regard to the use of impact fees. And so I think our preference is to ensure they're used exclusively for capacity, where we have congestion issues and safety issues. Colossal Cave clearly exhibits those characteristics. This is the southeast. This is not, combining the southeast with the southwest. And if you look at the map, The bigger problem coming down the road is ultimately getting city participation for Houghton Road improvements north, because the red lines is what the county is responsible for on Houghton Road, because that's the logical investment. The old dashes are what the city's obligated to make improvements by using their impact fees. Given the long-standing checkered area of state trust land in this area, meaning that it's not all available for development. You have very limited roadways, and as we see congestion grow on Interstate 10, which it's projected to do, you'll see people driving from the south, crossing the interstate, going up into the urban area to get to the west. And frankly, Wentworth Road and Colossal Cave make that connection ultimately up into the urban area. So I think the staff recommendation remains basically the same.
Thank you. And I would, you made a statement about the city of Tucson and they have some responsibility for that roadway improvements in the area. And it begs, or it brings up a larger question, and I certainly can sympathize with the folks in Mountain View. We have a number of needs. We have very limited resources, and at some point we have to address the needs, and that's going to take additional monies, and we're going to have to find some way to fund these projects because there simply isn't enough. There aren't sufficient resources now in terms of the dollars to do what we would all like to do. So at some point that conversation needs to go on region-wide, and we can no longer say that there is sufficient, we have sufficient funding sources to meet our transportation needs, and that's the reality. Any other comments? If not, I'll call the question. Roll call.
Supervisor Carroll.
Aye.
Supervisor Reyes.
Aye.
Supervisor Miller.
No.
Supervisor Valdez.
Aye.
Chair Burns.
Aye. Motion carries 4-1. That brings us to addendum 1.